SpaceX's fifth Falcon Heavy recently lifted off just after sunset on the United States Space Force's USSF-67 mission, creating one of the gigantic commercial rocket's most magnificent launches. So, what did Elon Musk have to say about it, and what is so exceptional about this mystery mission? In today's video, we'll find out. Powered by 3 Falcon 9 derived boosters, each with 9 Merlin 1D engines, Falcon lifted out from SpaceX's Kennedy Center 1C-39A pad at the start of its Sunday launch window, producing up to 2,326 tons of thrust. The USSF-67 launch was similar to SpaceX's November 1, 2022 USSF-44 Falcon Heavy launch. B-1064 and B-1065 aced their missions, and the mission detached from Falcon Heavy's expandable center booster or core roughly 3 minutes after liftoff. The side booster swung around with compressed nitrogen gas thrusters and started 3 of their 9 Merlin 1D engines to return to the Florida coast. After coasting to Florida, they performed brief re-entry burns to reduce atmospheric heating before landing gently at SpaceX's LZ-1 and LZ-2 landing pads. Because Falcon Heavy lifted off after sundown, local skies were dark and the rocket soon climbed back into daylight, creating a sharp contrast between twilight and the brilliant rocket exhaust. The moment of landing is undoubtedly a sight to behold, and Musk even likened it to how we will land on Mars. When the Falcon Heavy side boosters flip around and reignited their high-velocity exhaust plumes, they collided with the opposing plume of the center core, creating a spectacle of interaction and a nebula-like cloud that captured even more sunlight. If Falcon Heavy had taken off sooner, a darker sky could have produced an even more spectacular nebula or jellyfish. The rocket's first twilight launch, however, was terrific. Elon Musk released this beautiful image with the caption, "Falcon Heavy Ascents," to go along with it. SpaceX terminated its live coverage after both side boosters touched down, stressing the mission's confidential customer and nature. SpaceX was awarded a $316 million contract in August of 2020 to launch USSF-67 instead of 44. The USSF has not confirmed much about the cargo of the USSF-67 mission. However, Falcon Heavy is known to carry a geostationary communications relay satellite known as CBA-S2, which Boeing most likely built. CBA-S2 will help our senior leaders and combatant commanders by providing communications relay capabilities. On Friday, January 13th, Space Force authorities issued an emailed statement Northrop Grumman's third long-duration propulsive EELV or LDPE-3A joins CBA-S2, a satellite and a propulsion kick stage combined. LDPE-3A carries a collection of rideshare satellites and payloads and is expected to function in orbit for months. Using USSF-44 as a guide, the general USSF-67 cargo might weigh between 3.75 and 4.75 tons. The second payload, Extended Duration Propulsive ESPA-3A, is a spacecraft bus. It will house 5 smaller payloads and supply power and propulsion before launching these vehicles into various orbits. Now, thank you for reaching this point. Make sure to finish this video to know more. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe if you are new to this channel, and like, comment, share, and hit the notification bell for more upcoming videos like this. Among the 5 payloads is a prototype crypto/interface encryption satellite that will provide secure space-to-ground communications. This is a difficult mission that fully embodies secured access to space, which is why we're so excited about the forthcoming launch of our second Falcon Heavy in as many months. According to a news release, Major General Stephen programmed 30 executive officers for secured access to space. Notably, despite its diminutive size compared to other payloads, Falcon Heavy is launching USSF-67 directly into geosynchronous orbit. However, direct-to-geo GSO launches are quite tricky for the rocket. Falcon Heavy must first sacrifice one of its 3 rockets to ensure that the Falcon upper stage travels quickly enough and has enough fuel to spare when it separates. The higher stage must then do 3 or 4 burns. During the first run, the upper stage and Ussf-67 payload were most likely placed in a parking orbit roughly 300 kilometers above the Earth's surface. A second run of the upper stage's Merlin vacuum engine will propel the pair into a geosynchronous transfer orbit with a low end of roughly 300 kilometers and a high end of around 35,800 kilometers. Finally, the upper stage must withstand a 5-hour coast to the apogee. During that coast, the rocket must survive passes through both of the Earth's harsh radiation belts while maintaining perfect control of its orientation and tank pressures to keep its refined kerosene fuel from freezing, its cryogenic liquid oxygen from boiling away, and itself from bursting as its propellant warms and expands. If all goes as planned, the upper stage will be able to perform a circularization burn at apogee and deploy its CBAS-2 and LPDE-3A payloads directly into geosynchronous orbit, satellites at GSO orbit at the same speed that the Earth spins, allowing them to linger over the same part of the planet eternally, making them ideal for Earth observations, monitoring, and communications. Finally, the Falcon upper stage will make one final burn to place itself in a cemetery orbit slightly above GSO, eventually running out of fuel and losing control. It will take approximately 68 hours after liftoff for SpaceX or the USSF to confirm whether the mission was successful. For years, the Falcon Heavy was the most powerful operational rocket in the world, but in November, NASA's New Moon rocket, the SLS or Space Launch System, dethroned it with its first launch. The unmanned Artemis 1 mission was launched by the SLS, paving the stage for future flights with people on board. While the Falcon Heavy produces around 5 million pounds of push, the SLS produces up to 8.8 million pounds of thrust, 15% greater than the Saturn V rockets used in the Apollo lunar missions. However, SpaceX is in the last stages of prepping for this Starship spaceship's maiden orbital launch attempt and Super Heavy rocket at its testing facility in South Texas. Though the test flight is pending final approval from federal regulators, it may be terminated in the coming weeks. If successful, SpaceX's Starship will dethrone the SLS as the most powerful rocket in the world today. Both the SLS and the Falcon Heavy are likely to be outpowered by the Starship system. The upcoming Super Heavy rocket, which will vault the Starship spacecraft into space, is estimated to provide almost 17 million pounds of thrust. However, the SLS rocket and the SpaceX's Starship are both critical to NASA's plans to send men to the moon's surface for the first time in half a century. SpaceX has its own grandiose concept for the Starship, which would transport personnel and freight to Mars to create a permanent human population there one day. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Let us know what you think about this mission in the comment below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to be updated for upcoming videos like this. Before you leave, did you know that General Motors is facing serious financial challenges? Well, if you want to know more, make sure to click and watch this video here.